I've been blaming a couple of key resources that are the most widely available as misleading people on the best way to build your hard flats. Those two books are the Backstage Handbook and the Stock Scenery Construction Handbook, both published by Broadway Press. They are missing some key structural understanding of how flats are best being built. And unfortunately, they're the two most readily available resources. For a long time, I've just assumed that those were the only two books that kind of continued to be printed, whereas a lot of previous books fell out of print and a lot of information was lost. But in looking back at some books from the 70s and early 80s and even some modern books, it turns out that no one has outlined a structure and a process for building hard scenic flats. And as a result, we have the way these two resources suggest, and then we have the actual way that most of the film, TV, and entertainment industry builds their flats. The resources that we have available are misleading because in one sense they say, oh, it's just like a soft flat construction, only instead of the lumber being laid flat, it's turned on edge. And that's not true at all because the two underlying structures are very different. One structure is designed to be a strong frame to hold a stretched piece of canvas, and the other structure is designed to imitate stud framing construction. And yet another resource that predates these two books says that flat construction is based off of framing technology, but it bears very little resemblance to it. But then they don't go into details to explain that. When you look at more contemporary textbooks, some of them just cut and paste the information that was published in the Stock Scenery Construction Handbook. And if we've already determined that that information is lacking, then the new books are not actually providing any new or additional or better information.